Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Femme Force Podcast. My name is Rachael Paskman, and I am your host. And today I'm really excited because I get to be joined by my new friend, Sigrun. So she is an entrepreneur, she's a former CEO, and she's an advocate for women building businesses and for financial independence. So we're going to be talking a lot about gender equality, entrepreneurship, and the urgent need for women in AI. So, Sigrun, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Rachael.
So, what do you do a lot? You've done a lot, you're doing all of these things. So, what drives your passion to try to help women, especially, succeed in all of these spaces?
Well, I'm originally Icelandic, and we are number one in gender equality according to the World Economic Forum since 17 years. That
Amazing.
doesn't mean that doesn't mean that everything is perfect. It just means that everybody else is worse. But we must be doing something right. And I was brought up in the belief that I could do anything. And I think a lot of Icelandic women truly believe they can do anything. We have a women prime minister, women president, women bishop, women a dean of all universities have a female dean. The three biggest political parties with a woman at their head. And so it sounds like this is like utopia. But on the other hand, we have the financial side. And who's in charge there? The men still have the wealth and the money and
Mm.
can actually exert a much bigger influence. As we know, politics and business, who is really in charge? Often it is the business interests that drive. So why do I'm so passionate about it? It dates back to when I was 16 years old. Um, because of my belief that I could do anything. My parents just instilled this belief in me.
I love that.
I was quite surprised. Yeah, I was quite surprised to meet women later on in life that did not hold the same beliefs or live their life differently than I envisioned mine. So I did. I loved doing knitting and sewing. I was influenced by my grandmother and mother to do things like that. Even if I was like designing a successful future, doing great things, I also liked those crafts and creative things. And so when I was 16, I already was quite advanced, and I did a course with a dressmaker at her home, and the women at the course were my age now. Uh, and they were not as excited about things as I was, or not so optimistic or thinking about the future in the same way. And they were rather saying why they had not made their dreams come true. They got married, they had kids, they didn't have the right education or skills. And after a few weeks of that, I was like, okay, I should not get married. I should not have kids. If I want truly to live gender equality and make my dreams come true, I have to live my life differently than these women. So it had a very huge impact on me, those 8 weeks with these women.
Yeah.
And I decided not to have children. I wasn't into dolls anyway, so I don't know if that was really the last the dot of his
Last night
eye.
there.
But yeah, I totally believe women can do both. I have two
1000%.
stepsons that I got 17 years ago. Um, I decided that I would never let a man stop me. So I am in my third long-term relationship, but my first marriage. So I'm glad I didn't marry the other ones. And then I decided to make always my dreams come true, whatever they were. And fourth, I would somehow find a way to influence gender equality. I became a true feminist. Uh, this was also happening at the same time. There was a big changes in the Icelandic political landscape. We had a feminist party, the
Which we
female
love.
party,
It's amazing.
and the only purpose of this party was to have more women go into politics. So the party itself was not left or right. It had actually women from the whole political spectrum, and they were around for 15 years, and then they stopped being a political party when they had achieved some of their goals. So there's no wonder I was influenced from multiple sides around this time to like gender equality is important and I want to do something about it. So it
It's
wasn't until
amazing
much later. Yeah.
because I
It
visited
wasn't until
Iceland
much
and we did
later.
all those gender equality things, and you're just sitting there being like, wow, like obviously, if a country can do this and be so successful, why cannot others just fall in line and do the same?
Yeah, and I think there were things that I only realized much later. This
Mm.
female political party, it didn't just happen overnight. In 1974, on October 24th, if I remember this correctly. Now, I was very young. I was too young to be out and about. But 90% of women went on strike in Iceland. And the whole country was literally stand still. And there are pictures of the whole city of Reykjavik, the capital, being full of just women. They wouldn't cook that day. They wouldn't take care of their children. They didn't go to work. They were all in this together. And this is very long before the internet. I don't know how they communicated all of this, but basically there was this one day, and it changed a lot because then it pushed people to pay more attention to women, women's jobs, to women's salaries, to the political participation and everything. So this was all happening. We had the first female president, 1980. She
Wow.
was the first female president worldwide, democratically elected. So there were like lots of things, and I'm growing up with this, and this is like normal that women are in charge. And
Yeah.
now it's so normal that I think boys will ask, like, can a man be president?
I mean, I love that. And I think that's, oh, the day that comes, it's going to be the most amazing thing in the world. And I mean, you started your career though, like studying architecture in Germany, and then you transitioned into the business and tech world, and you became like a CEO of a software company, you said unexpectedly. And you've just had these really big roles and stepped into like really big leadership positions. I mean, and not just from a business perspective, but as a woman in business also. And so, how did you end up becoming a CEO?
I studied architecture because I thought it would be interesting to have like art and science. Like I was interested in
Mhm.
art, but also I had wanted science, and architecture felt like the right thing. I had to go abroad to study, so that's when I moved to Germany. After my studies, I moved back to Iceland, and I find myself one day in a small software company that was doing its own CMS. This was before WordPress, and one day the company sold, and there's a big business guy in Iceland that just sells all his companies in one go. And this was just his smallest company. So nobody even bothered talking to us at the company. We heard it in the news that the company had been sold. And I had been a project manager there for a year. I loved my job. I had contact to all the clients. Uh, Doing website projects felt a bit close to architecture. I was not interested in being architect anymore, but the website projects I loved. And so the idea of having a new owner and a new boss, a new CEO, started to feel like, I don't want that. Can I do this? And I did not have a business education. I was starting my computer science degree on the side, but and I had no business experience. But after a little while, this thought would not leave me. It's like a little, bird on your shoulder. It just came back every time I pushed it away. It just came back. It came back. So I started to ask my sister. She was working with me there. What does she think? Yeah, go for it. I asked my dad. Go for it. My mother. I don't know. Typical mother, always being a little bit scared about her
Yes.
children. And I found out who had bought the company. There was an acquaintance in that office. We're not close friends or anything. I called, asked what I needed to do. She said, send a 2-page memo about your thoughts about the business. They don't have a CEO in mind, so maybe they will consider you.
That's
I take one
amazing.
day off from work to study for an exam in my computer science degree. And exactly that day, the boss comes or the new owner comes to visit the company, and I'm not there. I'm like, this is horrible. I'm not there. I wanted to meet the guy and present myself. So I try and find his phone number, his mobile phone. I had to lie a little bit on the phone that I urgently needed to find him. And he wanted to meet me in a cafe the same day. So I just thought, okay, this exam is going out the window. Um, I met him in a cafe. He brings his lawyer along and they interrogate me about the business, and I could only answer one third of the questions. Long story short, he hired me because he thought it was a bold move to ask for the job without the qualifications.
That's amazing.
And he
Like,
became the best business mentor I've had in my life.
that's phenomenal. I mean, and this experience has just been, I mean, it's so deep for you and it's transcending, but what did it teach you about leadership and being a leader from those perspectives? I mean, you had an amazing mentor, which is phenomenal. Like, what did that teach you?
He took a bet on me. He mentored me, but he did not tell me exactly what to do. He did check that it would pay salaries. He would call on a Friday evening, like, "Did you pay the salaries today?" And I'm like, "Yes, I did." Uh, but he really left me alone with this business, which was amazing. I ran this company as if it was my own. And that's an amazing feeling that I love to give to others today in my company. If there's a chance to have someone run an area of my business as if it's their own business, then I try to do the same thing because I know it's an amazing feeling when you have this true ownership. That's how you get the most out of people, actually, because instead of thinking someone will take the slack and cover for you, no, it's really yours and you have to take care of it from A to Z.
I mean, and that just makes sense. And that's exactly what we should be doing. It's what we should be teaching others. Like, it's really impressive that you were able to get all of that and like be able to utilize it now in your current day roles in your current day life, because you're also helping women build businesses and wealth, which is so important. I think like financial independence is something I'm super, super passionate about. And so you transition into supporting women entrepreneurs. How did that happen?
Well, I met the love of my life at a Tony Robbins conference in London,
I love that.
and I had transitioned. Well, basically, the company had been running, was sold a couple of times. I turned it around. It was had doubled in value, 20% EBITDA. My boss was happy, and he let go, and I stuck with the company. That was a promise that he made to the new owners that I would stay and make sure that the team would not leave. This is typical in mergers and acquisitions. But the new owners, I mean, they were annoying as hell. They were constantly, they were micromanaging. And after being so free as a bird before, I hated being micromanaged. They told me, "Oh, you shouldn't be buying pizza on Wednesdays." And I'm like, "Seriously? My team loves pizza. And it's the only way I can get all these young guys to come into the office is to offer them free pizza." I'm like, "How much money do you actually save by not having pizza?" Well, this was so. And then when they asked to me to redo all the contracts. In Iceland, we have a very nice working conditions. I mean, we are like the Nordic countries in general. Uh, Now it's probably down to 35 hours a week, but when I was there, it was 37 and a half hours working time per week. They wanted me to change every contract to 40 hours. I'm like, over my dead body. And so therefore we got into a bit of a fight, and
Yeah,
I basically had them let me go. And at the same time, I meet my future husband in London, so it made sense. I'll just move to Switzerland and see if this works out. And then I find myself in a job that where I got sick. I got
mm,
neck pain, and I was unable to work for 7 months. And that's when I really thought about, okay, Sigrun, you've been 10 years running other people's businesses. Why don't you
yeah.
run your own? You have proven you can do it. You've done turnarounds, mergers, acquisitions, scale businesses. Why not do this for yourself?
I love that though, but that's so important. And I mean, it's such a good lesson for so many people. And I mean, a lot of it has to do with like just a little bit of that imposter syndrome and like what we're holding back. What do you think holds women back from starting businesses?
Being scared. In 2002, I did a business course, like a 3-month business course for women, evening
Mhm.
course. It was 160 hours of lessons. You learn to do your own business plan.
Ah,
And then I was scared. Like it felt like a massive risk not to have a monthly salary.
yeah,
But fast forward to 2012, 13, suddenly it's like 10 years later, 12 years later, I have been sick for 7 months. I've lost 2 jobs in 2 years for various reasons.
yeah.
Uh, and then I'm like, I've got nothing to lose. It felt like it's a different, yeah, I was more ready to go for it and try it out than the 10 years earlier. And it was the best thing that happened to me to actually lose my job. I don't wish that on anybody, but sometimes we're just not going to go for our dreams unless we're pushed.
I mean, yeah, but it's such good advice. And it just, that's, you have to kind of push through it. And I mean, you talked about like losing a job and things like that. And so we've talked a little bit about, really the importance of financial independence for women. Why do you think that's so crucial?
I come from a country that when a woman and a man divorce, or man and a man, or a woman, doesn't
Mhm.
matter. I mean, when a partnership doesn't work anymore, they take care of their things. In Central Europe, United States, Canada, like in many Western world countries, the woman is more like, number two.
Mhm.
And she is at risk. She is at real risk uh, when the marriage doesn't work out or the partnership doesn't work out. And I don't wish that on any woman, that she cannot leave a partnership because of financial worries. I mean, that should be the least of your worries. I mean, leaving a partnership is hard enough emotionally, not that you have the financial worries on top. So, for this reason, for your independence, for women's empowerment, it is so important that they have a financial control, and then the knowledge to make money, whether it's through a job or their own business, so that they're never stuck in a prison of a
Yeah.
relationship that they have outgrown.
And I love that. And it's so important. I think, especially, I mean, I know they do it in Iceland, but in the States and things like that, like if I ever do career day talks, and I do quite a bit of them, a lot of times the girls will ask, like, what's the one thing you wish you would have, like, if there a class you wish you could have taken, or is there anything like you wished, was part of the curriculum you would have learned? And not just me, but every other female that is there is like, a personal finance class, personal finance class, personal finance class. And like they don't teach you this. And you go to college and you have no money, you're so broke, it's disgusting. Like, but like you don't know. And then you get out of school and you're trying to find a job and you're in debt from loans and everything else. And it's hard. It's like really, really hard. So trying to figure all of that out, it's just, financial independence is so important, and knowing things in the beginning. Like, I feel like we tell, maybe not in Iceland because Iceland's great, but in other countries we tell little boys, like you're good with math and like you can do finance and you pay the bills and you do all this. When the girls are just as capable to do it, they're just not put in that category, so they don't get the same treatment.
Yeah. Yeah, and I
It's just
think
it's wild.
my biggest joy working with women. Now I work with over 10,000 women in the last 12 years.
Wow.
And then I teach them how to start an online business, how to create a course, how to market a course, how to you know, launch a course so you can sell to a lot of people in a small amount of time. And now I'm pivoting completely into agentic AI, teaching them how to run their business with an AI marketing team. But my biggest joy is when a woman starts to really believe in herself and she realizes she can, under any circumstances, make money. I mean, there's this like, I've done this, I can do it again. And that is something nobody can take away from you. And yes, the world will change, but if you got that core belief, I can do it, that is the most powerful one you can have. And that gives me the most joy. But I don't sell that. I sell some practical steps, but it's actually this self-belief, knowing that you can do it, that is what gives me joy at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, and yeah, but the joy that you're getting, like it's so pure and it's so meaningful. And I love that. Like you're helping so many others. And then it's just a cycle. Like, and then hopefully they will help others. And like we just continue going and learning. And I think that's amazing. So you're
But the
also
worry,
really, no, tell me.
yeah, the worry I have now is though with AI is that
Yeah,
women, there's a new gap,
there's definitely
there's
a
a
new
new
gap.
gender gap. Yes. And that is my concern now. We already have a gap. I mean, financial gap. Women are not earning as much as men. They get paid less and they pay themselves less. Even if they have a successful business, they pay themselves less and they charge less. So I try to work with all of that. Yeah, raise your prices, pay yourself better, take money out of your business, build true wealth, buy assets, invest. But now we have the AI gap as well. And when I heard about that some months ago, it really made me mad. Women are 25% slower to adapt AI,
Wow.
and
Which is an
that
insane
was
number.
just chat.
Yeah.
That's too big of a number. And every day they're falling more behind because AI moves so fast. AI is something that you cannot just start in the future. You kind of have to be on it. And I've been reading a lot of articles, listening to podcasts. I'm just trying to inform myself as much as I can so that I stay on top of it. But one guy, in an article that I read in February, because in February everything changed. We got agentic AI. We went from generative AI, the chat, we went then to an AI that actually can do something. I mean, it can do anything that you and I can do on the computer, now AI can do. And this is a massive change, and most people haven't woken up to this change. And if women were not using the chat before, I mean, then they're falling behind on the next evolution. And there's a new model coming out every few weeks. And so you kind of have to stay on top of it. And this guy, so unfortunately, I don't remember his name right now. He said, people wake up, start to spend an hour a day on AI and create something useful for your life or business. Not just chat. Don't use it just as a life coach or a business strategist or to create email or sales pages. Use it for something really important. Like, I have a poster app because I need to watch my poster, you know?
Yeah.
Then I want to learn Italian. I created an Italian language app for me. It's not all business. It's also something for my life. But sitting down with AI, figuring out how to talk to it, how to get back what I want, this is a skill we have to train. And then the next stage is, and that's what I will be doing now with my clients, is how do you manage agents? So agents are like AI virtual assistants. So one agent is managing your inbox. Another one is you're doing your calendar. Another one is, talking to your team, making sure they do stuff on time. I mean, and suddenly you have 20 agents and you have never managed a team before. How do you do that?
Yeah. It's hard. I mean, it's hard and you're kind of backpedaling in a way when you're doing it. I mean, and especially like it's just dangerous for women to not be involved in this because for future wealth, but also like the opportunity that it's there and just getting further and further behind by not being involved in this. And so when you're thinking about women specifically, why do you think they're so hesitant when it comes to AI?
I have asked them directly
Yeah.
because before I made the complete switch over to helping women grow their businesses with AI, I was, of course, teaching a master class once a month on AI, on generative AI. That was the simple version. Now we have the more complicated version. And the questions that popped up was safety, privacy, environmental impact, and then just the tech scares that I've heard all through the years that I've been doing this for the last 12 years. Women are more worried about tech. They don't think they're good at it, so they avoid it. Uh, but they also have concerns about the impact of AI. What will it do? Will it do bad things? And then they ask me like, "Oh, how are you comfortable with this?" I'm like, "I don't feel I have a choice." I mean, yes, we need to think about privacy. Yes, we need to think about the water consumption, but I know the AI companies are doing it. I think the governments need to step in much harder. And many of the leaders of those AI companies are saying, please regulate us, do something. But the government is so slow. They have not even realized what's happening. So, but I cannot solve the environmental impact. But the solution is not to sit back and wait for that all to be solved and then step into AI because that's too late.
Yeah. No, 1,000%. And I mean, you either have to get over the fear or you have to see just how much the benefits are. Because, I mean, if women don't engage with AI now, it's just like you said, it's evolving. There's new ones coming out all the time. Like, I don't really know how you'll be able to catch up on everything. It's moving too fast.
Yeah. And even people that do AI all day can't catch up. I mean, it's just impossible. So I'm also very selective. I follow
Mhm.
maybe 2 to 3 people, and I also work with an AI agency to get moving faster because I feel I'm not moving fast enough. Others are like, "Wow, Sigrun, you're so
Yeah.
ahead!" Whoa, and I'm like, I guess it's a little bit like learning a language. The better you get, the more you
Yeah, it's
realize what you
proficient
don't
skill. Yeah,
know.
you gotta keep doing
Yeah,
keep going.
and that's why I feel so behind, but I think this feeling of behind is actually good for me personally. It makes me get myself
Yeah.
moving. I mean, then I'm like,
Motivating you, yeah.
yeah, it motivates me. And, I'm scared and excited at the same time, and nobody knows how this will really turn out, all of it, but, I have let people go because I can see AI taking over. I had an executive assistant. He was making a lot of mistakes. And then I thought, I'll just let it go and maybe AI can do some of it. And then some of it is done by someone else. Then I had a customer service agent and I thought, what is he doing all day? I think I actually just need someone for 2 hours. And AI can do this now, many of it. I mean, if someone is asking where are my invoices and stuff like that. So simple questions. But I still want to make sure we have the human touch. I mean, I still have coaches and mentors in my program and they're actually human beings answering people's questions, mindset questions, and stuff like that. So I don't I don't see that a company like mine can be completely without humans. We do have the first billion-dollar company. It's been all over the news without employees,
That's
and
amazing.
this this was just people knew it was coming. 2 years ago, people said this
Mm,
is going to happen. It was just a question when, not if. And Forbes verified the numbers because, of course, if someone comes
yeah.
along and says making $1 billion, but yeah, they verified the numbers. So we have the first person that can make $1 billion with no employees. But then I thought, hey, women, let's wake up. What about a 7-figure company or a 6-figure company with no team
Mhm.
members? That should be super easy. So let's do that. And that makes me excited again.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, just the wealth that they can do from having even just the small businesses, I mean, that's helping to bring them to financial independence. It's helped bringing them close to equality by owning businesses, because we're still really falling short globally on a lot of that is women trying to be, I mean, just even close to equal. We're equality there. That's, I don't know if that'll even be in my generation, my lifetime here, but like getting even close to it.
Unfortunately not. I looked up the data because I give talks and sometimes even though I'm talking about marketing and online business and now agents, I always squeeze in gender equality if I can.
Yeah.
And I looked this up and I think the data was from the US. But I think, no, there was worldwide. So women led businesses, so women founded businesses or led businesses contribute 4% of global revenue.
Wow.
And I'm like, I don't see this getting 50-50 anytime soon. I mean, or ever. But if we can move the needle, I mean, lots of small businesses can also contribute. But the big companies now with AI, where the founders are doubling their wealth in 5 years or something, I'm
Yeah.
like, and there's no women. There's no women in sight. I think Anthropic has a co-founder as a woman, but she's
She
not
does.
in the
It's a
forefront.
sister. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. She's not in the forefront. So like we're not really seeing her, but yeah, I saw one interview with her. But yeah, it's they're not founders of these companies. They're not developing the models, and then they're not behind using them. So I'm worried about that.
What does equality, like true equality, look like to you?
That we're financially equal. I had this discussion with the managing director of the World Economic Forum because they have these 4 pillars.
Mhm.
Uh, I'll see if I remember them, but it was education and health for sure. Uh, but I said, you're missing the 5th one, the wealth. They don't count that because that doesn't look so good.
No. Well, when you go to the World Economic Forum in Davos, like you just billionaires on top of the Swiss Alps. So
Yeah.
a little bit, I mean, the cost to go is astronomical. So it's understandable they're not going to put that up there. It's not exactly good branding for them. Wish they would though, because it's a huge topic that can change so much of that. I think I just was reading a book called Start with Yourself, yeah, by Emma Grady, and she was saying she's like women need to focus more on their own wealth because once you have the wealth, then you can help other people. So, like, you
Yeah.
should be asking for the money. You should be looking to make the money because when you make the money, you choose what you do with it. And I've said that before, like, you choose what you do with it. When I was in big tech and everyone's like, it's a horrible company, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, number one, that's your opinion, but also I'm making money where I'm able to like give back in sustainable ways that I want to be able to give back to charities that I want to give to and to see change that I want to affect because I have that financial independence to be able to do so.
Yeah. But this is also what sometimes makes me annoyed about women. I mean, I love women. I love helping women. Uh, but many want to start by giving. And I always tell them, no, you got to put the oxygen mask first on yourself before you
Yeah.
assist a child. You hear that every time you fly a plane. And I had the opportunity to meet Richard Branson. And
Oh,
I know
wow.
he Virgin, he has it's not really charities. It doesn't call it. It's
Yeah.
nonprofits and profits. So it's
Mhm.
split into 2, Virgin Unite. And I brought this up because I wanted to take his answer back to my women. And he is absolutely, you need to make your wealth first
Mm.
before you start to distribute to others. If you distribute from day one, you will never be wealthy enough to actually have the impact that you might be able to have if you did it the other way around.
But that's just, I mean, the whole thing is insane. Like, it's a different experience. I mean, this has been so educational. I mean, and I hope everybody looks into how Iceland is doing things. Like, I feel like it gets overlooked so much. And I'm like, they're doing things right. We should be focusing so much more and take a look into AI courses, like even just a simple one, or just start using AI. Just, mess around with it, play around with it. The more you use it, the less scary it is. The more you're utilizing it, you can figure out like what else you can do with that, the amount of time that you're saving, things like that. So I have one more last question I like to ask all of my guests though. But if you could give one piece of advice to your 16-year-old self, what would that be?
You can make all your dreams come true. Believe in yourself.
I love that. But it's true. We need to tell ourselves that every day at all the ages.
Yeah.
But I love that. That's so true. Oh, well, thank you so much for coming on. Tell the audience, we're going to put this in the show notes, but tell the audience where they can find you, where they can find your courses, everything like that.
Well, I have also a book, Kickstart Your Online Business,
Amazing.
where I teach women how to create an online course and how to build their email list and how to basically kick off their online business. That's a free book when I'm on a podcast. So
Mhm.
that link will be sigrun.com/femforce, just like
Amazing.
you write the podcast. And sigrun.com, that's my website. And you find me on any social media channel. Sigrun.com is my handle.
I love that. Thank you so much for coming on and talking about this. I think it was really insightful. It's definitely inspiring. I feel ready to rock and roll. So thank you for this. I know other women are going to feel the same way when they listen.
Thank you so much for having me, Rachel.
All right, everyone, we'll see you next week.